The opening up of the student cap announced last week by you and Jason Clare, lifting the number of international student visas here a year from 270,000 to 295,000. Why have you decided to do this? Because clearly migration is still putting a strain on housing.
Yeah, it's still 8% below where the student numbers had previously been at. The key thing here to remember with international education, yes, it's an import and export for Australia, but there are lots of industries that have to provide a home for their workers. This is the only one I can think of where you've got to provide a home for every customer. International education has a particular obligation to be able to help with student housing, and particularly the larger universities, a whole lot of them had not been pulling their weight, they'd simply outsourced that job. In the increase that we've done, we've made very clear to international education generally, the universities in particular, you need to pull your weight on student housing. You know, it is an unusual industry in that way, and that's what we expect. We want the industry to do well, we want the industry to thrive, but we want them to carry the responsibility and not simply outsource to others the obligation there is to provide a home for these students.
You're yet to announce a permanent migration figure for the year. Could it be that for the first time ever, Australia breaks the 200,000 mark in terms of permanent migration?
I'd say a couple of things on this. At the moment, we're processing on the same numbers as last year. So at the moment, the way we're processing certainly doesn't do what you've just described. Second thing I'd say is the permanent migration figures are often quite deceptive. Because the public debate on permanent migration happens as though they are additional people coming here. Overwhelmingly, the permanent migration applicants are already here on temporary visas and convert from being here on a temporary visa to being here on a permanent visa. So there's lots of visa classes where overwhelmingly we're adding to the number of people living in Australia. This one, because it appears in the budget, always attracts a lot of eyeballs. The reality is the permanent visa program overwhelmingly, not entirely, but overwhelmingly involves people who in fact already live in Australia.
But are you saying then it'll be around the 195,000 mark, which is the record? Would it be around there, just under 200,000?
It's a good try. I'm not going to announce before I announce. And so there's a final layer of consultation that happens with state jurisdictions that Jim Chalmers is working with me on at the moment. So that's going round right now. It won't be too long before we announce. There won't be major movement, and at the moment we're processing on the same program that we had last year.
All right, you announced during the week Rhys Kershaw was retiring as Federal Police Commissioner. Chrissy Barrett was replacing him. Why wasn't the job advertised, or why wasn't there a recruitment panel put in place, as is customary for these kind of appointments?
Yeah, I'll say a couple of things. First of all, I want to pay tribute to Rhys Kershaw. It's one of the privileges of my life to work so closely with the Australian Federal Police. They are an extraordinary organisation, and Rhys Kershaw has been a great leader. I was surprised when he came to me and said that he was ready to retire. When he explained the family situation and wanting to move back north with them, I get it. And I respect it, and I reckon there's a lot of fishing that he's looking forward to. He'll work flat out right up till October 3, but I reckon he'll love putting his feet up, and he's earned it. He's kept Australians safe, and full credit to him. Historically, the Australian Federal Police this commissioner position has been filled from people within the Australian Federal Police. Whenever you get a vacancy, you do have to make that decision. Do we run a public application process, or do we believe we already have the outstanding candidate? When I went to the PM, they were the two options in front of us. The interesting thing was both the Prime Minister and I both had the same name in our heads as to who the outstanding candidate was. You see, with Chrissy Barrett, you don't only have somebody who right now has played such a phenomenal role in the national security work of the Australian Federal Police. You look at the different roles the Federal Police plays. One of our key things that we do now is our engagement with the Pacific. Chrissy Barrett played a critical role there in the Solomons. Another part of what the Federal Police do is they in fact run the policing in the ACT. Chrissy worked on the beat as an ACT police officer. And not everybody in the Australian Federal Police is a sworn officer. There are a whole lot of people who just dedicate their professional lives to the organisation without becoming sworn officers. Chrissy Barrett started in the organisation in one of those roles. So you don't just have someone with serious leadership and serious policing skills. You've got somebody who understands the depth of the Australian Federal Police like no other. So, you know, what's the point doing the full advertising process if you already know who you want?
All right, but I've just got to ask you briefly, and I am out of time. Was there any tension between the government and Reece Kershaw over the handling of the terror caravan hoax?
No, I wouldn't say tension at all. I wasn't the minister at the time of that, but certainly everything that I saw, the relationship was good. He's trusted by the government, he's valued by the government, and we wish him well.
Tony Burke, thanks so much for your time.
Great to talk. See ya.